Arvi drew because he loved to draw. And that's basically really the gist of the whole thing, is that he just had this passion for art.
His style is unique in that it's self-developed. You know, he was a self-taught artist working in a couple different mediums.
He's an artist that's not suddenly going to the Mediterranean and being inspired by the Mediterranean. It's things that were in his life.
It's the story of just a regular guy who grew up, you know, in Astoria. Most of his contemporaries became fishermen. He owned a tavern, and he wasn't just satisfied with just owning a tavern. He really wanted to do art. Arvi Ostrom was born in 1904 in Astoria, Oregon.
Dad grew up as a little boy without a father. His father died when he was about 6 years old, and he didn't understand why his father died.
That was one of the reasons why he got into the art so heavy. I think he really enjoyed it. It was a place for him to go and escape from just not understanding about his father's death. Arvi was pretty young when he began drawing, and he had an aptitude for it.
He started drawing when he was 10 or 11 years old.
In the family, there was wood carvers and other artists, so he feels like he fell heir to the talent. He'd never had any formal training.
And when he graduated from high school, he was considered a very good artist.
Arvi had a bunch of smaller jobs out of high school.
And he did work in lumber mills and so forth. And he did club basketball as a result of that. They provided jobs for local athletes. It was kind of a semi-pro league in the Astoria area.
Arvi acquired Snug Harbor, which was a tavern and a coffee house and a small restaurant in Astoria, just blocks, like 3 blocks from where he grew up as a kid.
He always said that he sold more coffee and donuts than he ever did beer. And they would have, all of the local fellows would come in for coffee break.
While he was being the bar owner, and sometimes he was working by himself, during the downtime he would draw or etch or sketch. People would bring in pictures of themselves or pictures of their loved ones. And he would draw them. And, you know, anyone that just caught his imagination, I mean, sometimes I'm sure it was just through his imagination. Other times it was from real characters down at the bar, and there was plenty of them. The bar became kind of an art gallery in a certain sense, and a lot of people actually supported his establishment to come in and see his art.
It's things that he saw on a daily basis or that inspired him. It's Astoria. It's the people that were coming into the Snug Harbor, his bar, people that he talked to or things that he liked. It's something that impacted his life on a daily basis, things that he saw, things that he experienced, ships going past out his window. It was this little slice of Astoria.
Arvi was kind of like an artistic historian in the sense that he was, you know, capturing what was happening at that moment.
I think the most important thing to him was boats and maritime. He really had a feeling for the river, and having worked on the river as a youngster, that was important to him.
What's unique about Arvi's work is the site-specific references that he's drawing from, and that's what really engaged me. It's an illustrative quality that has perhaps some roots in folk art, but it just seems very much referencing where he lives, and I connect with that. My work is similar. I see his work in the same way that I'm trying to see my own work in just being present and being mindful of the area and how it influences my direction. He's made some powerful statements with his documentation and illustration of the area.
Well, Arvi's artwork definitely had a lot of realism in it. There was also an abstract quality, even when he did realistic pieces, because a lot of them, the maritime stuff, had the water. So the water is always this abstract quality. Same with the sky. It's very interesting because I've found a lot of faces in the water, in the sky, hidden in the shadow of something. One of his best pictures is the one that he is very detailed, is a Native American headdress and a face. And I never really realized that it was him. It was like a self-portrait. He put himself kind of like the chief, and he was kind of a joker guy, so he had a really good sense of humor. I used to sit on his lap as a child and watch him draw, and I remember as an adult watching him also, and his stroking was just so precise. He was just really accurate, and he could draw really fast. What he left was a huge body of work that no one realized he had left. I mean, we all just thought it was going to be like 100 or 200 pictures. There's 10,000.
You know, the breadth of the collection is staggering. 10,000 plus pieces of artwork that the family still has.
From 1935 to 1995, there's paintings, drawings, sketches, carvings, and there's about 10,000 of those. It's kind of like who would do that, you know?
It's either an archaeological dig or a time capsule, really. It's, you know, to have this collection in one place, not spread out around a bunch of museums or businesses or different households, that he kept this artwork and that the family kept it together, and to have 10,000 pieces from one artist, I think that's just unheard of.
This does not happen. This is like a once-in-a-lifetime happening, to find this big of an unknown artist collection that's intact.
I've not seen another artist have so many works in one place before, and I got to see a lot of them because these works have never been moved or sold.
Out of the 10,000 pictures, he really never sold anything that we know of. He didn't know what to sell it for, and I don't think he really needed to sell it. It wasn't like he was making art to sell it. He was making art because he needed to make art, and he was a creative person, and he loved to draw. On his deathbed, he told me, "Ken, the thing I'm going to miss the most is drawing."
I think it probably speaks to the kind of man Arvi was. I think he really didn't care about the money.
He's doing it for himself and perhaps a small limited audience of friends and family, and just getting after it, documenting what he sees or how he feels and being influenced by the environment around him. I admire that.
This is an amazing collection of American folk art. And then really, I mean, the bottom line, I was amazed because it's pretty good. It's really, really great art.
And to see a majority of the highlights of his work in one space, to give a consistent narrative of the body of his work, I think that's really important. The work needs to be valued and to be seen in one light and one communication.
He's been gone for many years now, and he seems to have left a mark in Astoria, and one of the things that he left all of us to appreciate was the fact that his art has lived on longer than he has, and I think that's very nice.